Alrighty, let's see what else Dooley can tell us here. Do you know a way out of here?
You're going to let me out of here? Really?
Well, I can try. Or, that's not what I said. I asked if you know a way out of here.
Oh. Please. I hate it here. It makes me very sad.
I know, Dooley. Never mind. What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Gold? You mean treasure?
Let's talk about your treasure.
My friend Hannibal used to look after me. He said if anything ever happened to him, I had to find something very precious hidden away.
All right.
He gave me all I remember now. No, but
Gone through all of that. We have to find a way to let him out so that he can trust us and give us the key. Yeah. He's very sweet. I love this in a like cart here. Let's just move this golden statue around. It's fine. No big deal. Ooh. Ooh, more of the golden butterflies. Hello? Can I interact with these? No? Alright. The golden butterflies appear. Ooh, interesting. Olpius loves Scintilla. Corrected to Olpius killed Scintilla. So Scintilla is the other daughter from the magistrate, the current magistrate who disappeared. Somebody's watching me in here. Who is the statue that's watching me? This one. This one. Okay. Interesting. And that one.
Greetings and salutations.
I need your help to do what? That guy's... Alright, they're all looking at me now. Old Scroll. The Myth of the Golden Rule by Dorotas the Younger. As per our custom, I shall begin by paying my respects to the god responsible for this city. For our continued prosperity and tranquil seclusion, he deserves our admiration. But here I must depart from custom, for his attempt at imposing strict rule upon us is oppressive and overreaching, and deserving of our contempt. Do unto others has a dark side, yes. Who among us has not awoken at night in a cold sweat, fearing from some sort of accidental transgression of the golden rule? All of us must accept that we are all capable of error, whether from a momentary lapse in judgment or conscious decision based on faulty reasoning. Yet the great threat, the sword of Damocles that we live under, I believe, merely a deception, and I shall prove it to you. Let me begin by dismissing the counter-arguments. First, it may be argued that the inscription stating, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one," is evidence that the golden rule is very real. But that is logically unsound, for we cannot assume the writers knew any more than we did. That this message was inscribed does not make it true any more than if I were to inscribe Dorotas the Younger is a god. Citizens, it is time. Let us meet to elect our magistrate. Oh, that's right. I'm on a time limit. I forgot. I'm pretty sure the election is our... All right. This is probably going to be... Nope, it doesn't tell us where to go anywhere. I don't know how to get around this city yet. Stranger looks busy. All right, well, maybe I can follow her. So yes, Nerd Boy, I'm assuming that you are coming in later and you did not get to see any of the introduction. Because basically we are trying to figure out who is going to cause sin. Magistrate looks busy. Great. So we got transported from the modern time. We got found by potentially a very suspicious, helpful person who apparently fished us from the Tiber River and sent us in to go help her friend Al, who went into the ruins and never came back. And so basically now we are stuck in this potential loop.
Citizens, we have a quorate body of voters gathered here to elect the city's magistrate. The candidates are Sextus Sentius Imperiosus and Marcus Malleolus Gurges. As agreed, we shall dispense with ballots and candidates will abstain from voting. Let's make this quick. As I say your name, call your vote. I'll start with you, Horatius.
Sentius, of course.
Georgius.
Malleolus.
Dacius.
Malleolus.
Galerius.
I abstain. I'm just here to observe.
Virgil.
Malleolus.
Rufius.
Malleolus.
And finally, Domitius.
Malleolus. Who else?
Citizens, you have made your decision. Your new magistrate is Marcus Malleolus Gurges.
Hail, Magistrate Malleolus. I said, hail, Magistrate Malleolus. That's more like it.
Thank you. Thank you. I am delighted and deeply honored to have been elected your magistrate. And now, I make this solemn promise to you, good citizens. Under my leadership, you will finally enjoy the freedom you deserve. No more shall you walk on eggshells, fearing simply to live and breathe, because the tyrant Sentius told you it was forbidden. For my first act as magistrate, I hereby announce a day of celebration to mark the end of an era. The myth of the Golden Rule is no more.
That's gonna go well.
Real, you idiot.
For his attempt to deceive us all, Sentius is hereby found guilty of treason against the Empire.
What? I have committed no crimes. This is madness.
His sentence: to fight for his life in gladiatorial combat against Domitius, here and now for your entertainment.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're going to get us all killed.
Now I can tell Sentius that I suspect Malleus.
The Vestal Priestess to pardon him. I will not allow you to do this.
You're showing your true colors now, priestess. Your corruption sickens me. Domitius, ignore her. Proceed.
This is insanity. You'll doom us all.
Lies! It is time the Golden Rule was exposed for what it is, a children's fable, exploited by a treacherous leader to instill fear in all of us.
This is why he's in his gladiator gear. They've been planning this all along.
Shut up, all of you. The magistrate has spoken. I'm going to enjoy killing you, old man.
Figure out how to make Malleus drop
The
out of the
many
election.
shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Well. Follow Sentius back to the shrine to use the portal again. I don't know where I'm going. Oh, I don't like that their eyes are glowing. I don't like it. I'm trying to follow the magistrate. I'm falling from great heights, taking a lot of damage. I cannot see. Oh, right. I have a flashlight. All right. Yeah, so much for that myth. All right. Oh no, I've got lingering damage here. However, this does mean that our initial prediction is done. So we can choose the prediction here. Too many options. Too many options. Congratulations on those who are awarded more points. Oh, I do heal over time. That's useful. A relief depicting the great circular portal of Proserpina, the Roman goddess of the cycle of life and renewal. Her story is a grim one. It is said she was abducted by Pluto and forced into a marriage against her will. That's actually more information than we had last time, so that's exciting. All right.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you are and what you were doing in the Shrine of Proserpina?
I'm Cherney, and we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life.
Your name is Galerius, and you're about to offer to take me to see Sentius so he can tell me about the Golden Rule.
Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you.
No problem. I have to go.
Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
Zipline and handlebar. A rudimentary wooden zipline handlebar. That's amazing.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe.
Probably. Thanks. I'll be going now.
All right. See you around.
Well, that's convenient. And it looks like there's a bunch of zip lines, too. That's fun. I love that. Alrighty. We're gonna go see Sentius again, if I can remember how to get over here. There we go.
Keep an eye out for Scintilla, would you? What is it, citizen?
What's your story?
I'm a legionary of the 1st Italica, but there's not a lot of fighting down here. So the magistrate has assigned me other duties. I act as the magistrate's right-hand man, keeping an eye on his daughter, I should say, and the others, and making sure they're all behaving. I also keep a register of new arrivals.
How did you end up here?
I'm from Liguria, up north originally. I was doing all right for myself. 12 years into my service. Had a nice girl lined up for when it was all over. Not anymore. She's probably figured I'm long gone and moved on by now. I try not to think about it. My commander sent me to deliver a message to Rome. While I was there, I thought I'd do something nice for my girl, and pick up a little pendant from a silversmith. That's when the crowd started flooding through the streets, shouting fire. People were screaming, trampling each other. Then some Genetricum fugitive tried to take advantage of the chaos and pinch my pendant. I remember chasing him through the crowds, down towards the river. And then, nothing. Blacked out and woke up near here. No idea how I ended up floating so far downriver. But I'm fortunate to be alive, I suppose.
Sorry to hear that.
Ah, don't be. As Seneca the Younger said, difficulty strengthens the mind, as labor does the body. That said, Scintilla's disappearance has been more difficult than I'd care to admit.
What can you tell me about the magistrate?
He's one of the better commanders I've ever had, that's for sure. Good stoic. Lives by Seneca's words. Treat your inferior as you would wish your superior to treat you. Can't ask for much more than that.
Do you know a way out of here?
I went around asking the same questions when I first arrived. Never did find a way out. But I learned how to accept my situation. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. That's from Seneca the Younger, if you're interested.
Can I see the citizen register?
I don't see why not. Just make sure I get it back by tomorrow.
Aurelia, commoner, tavern keeper. Claims to know a way out. Ooh. Claudia, patrician, wife of Malleus, villa. Decius, commoner, merchant. Domitus, Malleus's guard, slum. Julius, commoner, unable to work, imprisoned in a warehouse. We met Dooley. Equitia, patrician, vestal priestess, villa. Fabia, commoner, baker, slum. Valerius, excuse me, commoner, farmer, slum. He's the one that we meet the first time we spawn. Georgius, foreigner, merchant, clothes. We met him, had a very nice conversation. Hannibal, forage for scrap, died in the cistern. Horatius, commoner, guard, slum. Kabash, foreigner, fisherman, disappeared. Julia, patrician, debt bondsman to Malleus. Juvia, commoner, hairdresser, now refuses to work. Well, we know that she's passed, so there's that. Sure. Thanks.
Of course.
What do you think about the golden rule?
Well, as I always say, it's kind of like a divine version of the practice of decimation in the Legion. By threatening to execute 1 in 10 men, the idea is to ensure order and discipline among everyone. And it works. If you knew you could be executed because your brother-in-arms is planning a mutiny, well, you'd bloody well watch him like 100-eyed Argus, wouldn't you? Because your only chance of saving yourself is to stop bad things before they happen. Makes us all responsible for keeping each other in check. It's brutal, of course, but effective. The Legion wouldn't be the most formidable force in the world without it.
Are you saying you're in favor of it? Where I come from, this would be considered collective punishment, which is a war crime. Or let's talk about something else. Yeah, Horatius is pretty cynical, but I would also say he's one of the more level-headed people that we've run across, which I appreciate. Are you saying you're in favor of it?
What's done is done. I was forced to execute my brothers-in-arms, and those memories will always visit me in my sleep. But life is harsh, and I've come to accept my lot. As with the Golden Rule, I don't have any control over it, so railing against it would be like trying to stop the seasons or the tides. As Seneca the Younger wrote, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future, not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing.
Let's talk about something else.
If you like.
Who are you going to vote for?
Not that it's any of your business. But my loyalty is and always will be with Sentius. Unfortunately, I don't think my vote is going to make any difference today. See, Domitius has been going around town, shoring up votes for Malleolus with lies, bribery and intimidation. The man's a savage. But he's a gladiator, so people fear and respect him more than they should. Sentius knows about it, of course, but he doesn't have the same rat cunning as Malleolus. This place will be different with that sleaze at the helm. But I try not to worry about things I can't change.
Can I help?
I appreciate the thought, but you're new here, and I just can't see how you could make an impact in the time between now and the election this afternoon. In any case, if you're interested in the election, go and have a chat with Equitia, the Vestal Priestess. She'll be overseeing proceedings.
I'll be going now.
All right?
All right, let's go talk to the magistrate. See if we can get anything of interest from him. A brass mirror. A vial. Makeup. Oh, Nereus. Can I? Oh, there we go. I just have to move off the thing. I was like, why is the only option to steal the gold?
That's my room. Leave before I call Horatius.
Okay. Today, my father suggested I write a diary as a way of keeping myself occupied while we all deal with the sudden and devastating disappearance of my sister. As a dutiful daughter, I will, of course, oblige. The following pages contain my innermost secrets. I know you're reading this, Father. I may be young, but do not think me stupid. We are all entitled to our secrets. She has a bust of the god of war in her room. Dad! Exactly. Alright, nothing of interest in here still. I know it's all up to me, creepy statues. I still don't know how to fix it.
We're finally alone. I assume you already know who I am. May I know your name?
I'm Cherney, but we've had this conversation before.
We have? Wait, if I understand correctly, someone is about to break the golden rule, forcing me to create a portal in time to bring you here? I must have entrusted you with figuring out who the culprit is. Only, I assume we failed, and you had to start over. Is that about right? If so, what happened?
I couldn't stop it from being broken, or I broke it. As far as we know, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't lie or bluff or anything like that on the last run, so I think we'll go with I couldn't stop it from being broken.
Ah, I see. Look, it's unfortunate, but all that matters now is that you make use of what you've learned and gathered and do better next time. Now, I assume you've sought me out again for a reason?
I'm hoping to ask you some questions about my investigation. Oh, hello, Voodoo. Yeah, I'm thinking that it might have been Malleus that broke it. Also, there is a way for us to get the farmer to run for magistrate, which might help as well. I'd like to release Dooley.
You mean Duilius? Releasing him is out of the question, I'm afraid. That man is a liability we simply cannot afford. Perhaps you're not aware he was caught multiple times, sneaking around in places he should not have been.
What exactly did he do?
Look, I can see where you're going with this. You think me cruel. I assure you that is not the case. You may not be aware of this, but it was not so long ago, during the Republic, the law of the 12 Tables would have required that he be killed as soon as he was born, owing to his deformities. Here we see to it that he has food, water, and shelter, and most importantly, he is able to continue living.
Oh yes, you're doing so well just letting him be alive.
Were he to be released and commit the crime of trespass. The man has no self-discipline, poor comprehension of what is going on around him, and is an incorrigible rule breaker. I will not jeopardize the lives of my people so that one man can go free. Now, was there something else?
I was hoping to ask you some questions about my investigation. Okay, we've already asked all of these,
Good.
so...
Now, was there something else you wanted to discuss?
Can we talk about who's going to break the golden rule?
Of course. What is it?
I don't think we have anything to actually point the finger right now.
No, it doesn't matter. It looks like you'll have to continue your investigation. Now, was there anything else you wanted to ask?
I'll get back to it.
Thank you. I'll be waiting here for news.
I don't know what we want to do next here. Can I just leap down into the water here and not die? The answer is no. Oh, very well. Continue from last save. There was a river down there. I thought for sure I'd be able to jump into it, but no. Apparently not. You flexed the day off. Huzzah for a day off, Voodoo. Nicely done. Alright.
Salve, friend. I'm Galerius. Mind telling me who you
Oh
are
shoot,
and
I've
what
got to
you
go
were
through
doing in
all
the
of these
Shrine the
again now
Serpent?
here. Yes, we've had this conversation before.
I don't think so. I've never seen you before in my life. Oh, Bacchus, how much did I drink last night? Sorry to have bothered you. Oh, and since you seem to be in a hurry, you should try out this device I made. Worked real hard on it.
I love this.
Just attach the pulley to the rope over the lake and hang on to the handles. If it works, it'll be faster than walking. And if it doesn't work, worst thing that can happen is you'll take a swim in the lake. I haven't quite summoned the courage to test it myself. But don't worry, it's completely safe.
The Atom Project? I keep seeing ads for that on TikTok. I know nothing about it.
All right, see you around.
Alright, I would actually like to talk to you, Galerius.
Ah, it's you again. Hope you're settling in, friend. Now, what's on your mind?
Alright, because we need to ask him about running for magistrate. What's your story?
Well, it's a long one and kind of sad, but I don't mind telling it.
I have time.
I'm a farmer. Always have been. I grew up in a small village in Britannia, Camulodunum, with my parents and 2 little sisters. Lovely part of the world. One day, when I was about 20, my father and I were in the top paddock, loading our cart, when some Roman legionaries came along, demanding produce for their men. My father told me to run into the house for his axe, and so I did. I sprinted so fast I almost threw up, but by the time I got back, he was bleeding out on the ground, and our cart was empty. That was my first encounter with the legions. My mother died of a broken heart soon after, and things went downhill from there. I took over the farmstead, but I was young, and it was a struggle. More raiding started before too long. We'd come outside in the morning to find animals missing, our stores pillaged. These Legion thugs just took whatever they wanted. One night, when my sisters and I had nothing left to steal, there was a knock at the door. I knew who they were, and what they wanted. I got my father's old axe, pulled the door open real quick, and before that soldier knew it, split his face right down the middle. But there were more of them. I never saw how many, because the next thing I knew, I was waking up with a mouth full of dirt and lungs full of smoke. My home was reduced to ash. My sisters, dead. And they left me alive to see what they'd done. Still burns whenever I think about it.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well, I wasn't the only one this happened to. It wasn't long before Boudica led thousands of Britons in a rebellion against the Romans. Unfortunately, there were just too many of them. And those of us who survived, they enslaved. So, then I found myself being transported all the way to Rome to be sold to the highest bidder. I spent a few years working for my new master, learning the Romans' ways, Romanized my name and everything. Tried to escape a couple of times, but they always found me, and I'd just end up right back where I was. I'd probably still be there too, if it wasn't for the stampedes breaking out. You see, about 7 months ago, an enormous fire broke out in Rome. Everybody was running down toward the river, screaming and shouting. Never seen anything like it. Human beings acting like cattle. I got swept up with them somehow, and the rest is a blur. The next thing I knew, some stranger was dragging me out of a river. Stumbled across this place and started my life over again.
It's interesting that all of them got fished out of the river by some stranger. I'm glad things worked out in the end.
That's what I thought too, for a while. But it seems the gods aren't done tormenting me yet. See, I finally had my own farm again, safe from the grasping hands of the Romans. Or so I thought. Until Sentius the Decurion demanded I hand over all my produce. It's for the good of us all, he says. Only he takes the best bits for himself, of course. He even told me if I refuse his demands, I'll break the golden rule. I'm not sure I believe him, but then, what if he's right? So, it turns out our dear old magistrate is no better than the Legion thugs who took everything from me. I'm right back where I began. But don't you worry, Nemesis is waiting, and he'll get his, one day. He'll get his. Forget I said that last part, will you? I get carried away sometimes.
Maybe Galerius is the one that we're looking at here.
Thanks, friend. I knew I liked you. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Was there something else you wanted to talk about?
Do you know a way out of
As much
here?
as I'd love to get out of here, the harvest's always more fruitful in another man's field, isn't it? But Scintilla, Sentius' daughter, went missing a few weeks back. Could be she found a way out. If anyone knows for sure, it'll be her sister, Sentia. But she'd never tell the likes of me.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Oh, I don't give it much thought these days. I mean, everybody here's got their own view about what we need to do to survive. But I say, let's spend less time arguing about what it means to be good and just get on with it, you know?
What do you think about the election?
I can't see how I could vote for either candidate. I don't like Sentius much, but Malleolus is almost as bad. Even I could do a better job. Me, a farmer. And I've never given a speech or put on a toga in my life.
Ever thought about running for magistrate yourself?
I've bounced the idea around once or twice, mainly as a way of getting Dooley set free. God knows Sentius is never going to do it. But from what I hear, Malleolus has the election stitched up. Nobody's going to take him on and win. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. I mean, he talks a lot about freedom, so I'm hoping if he's elected, he'll release Dooley from his cell. That's good enough for me.
Why is Dooley in a cell?
Because Sentius put him there. Poor Dooley was just wandering around looking for some imaginary treasure. Now a magistrate accused him of being a thief. That's nonsense, of course. Dooley's the most harmless man you'll ever meet. But Sentius really has it in for him, for some reason.
I wonder if we can actually warn Galerius. If Malleus runs, he's going to break the golden rule and kill us all.
And how could you know that? I mean, I don't like the man, but I don't see how you could know a thing like that.
He plans to have Sentius executed for treason.
You overheard him say that? Oh, why does that not surprise me? He and Sentius have despised each other for a long time now. Well, in that case, we need to find a way to make sure Malleolus loses. Better yet, get him to withdraw altogether. If you can do that, and Sentius is the only candidate left, I'll run against him. Deal?
All right. I'll be going now.
All right. See you around.
Alrighty. Let's see what we got here. Point of origin. The golden rule. We have to do... Let's see if we can do this quest that we got from the woman in the Temple of Apollo. Oh, that's Rufius. Okay. I know it's all up to me, spooky whispering statues. Decius looks busy. You should try talking to him again later.
Virgil, how much would you want to make me a bow?
For the last time, Decius, I'm not making you a bow.
But why?
You know why.
Because you're
How
a
am I gonna
jerk.
defend myself against someone else with a weapon.
There are no other weapons in the city. We all went along with the magistrate's weapons ban, so it wouldn't be an issue.
That's why I've got to get in first before someone else beats me to it.
Obtain a bow.
Salve, stranger, and welcome to our idyllic little slice of the Empire. I'm Decius.
Uh-huh. I need some silphium resin. Let's not start with that. What's your story?
You mean how did I end up here? That is a lengthy tale.
Let's hear it.
All right. Well, you see, I'm in the business of procuring rare and precious objects liberated from the enemies of Rome. Mostly sculptures, vases, the occasional slave. Fetch a magnificent price in Roman high society. Had myself a nice little shop in Rome, just off the Forum. Lots of foot traffic and close to the docks. Good place to be when the fires broke out. See, about 7 months ago, half of Rome caught on fire. Everyone who couldn't get to an outer gate was running for the river, open to escape by barge. So I gathered my coins and some priceless vases into a cart and had my most loyal slave girl, pretty young thing named Acantha, push it for me. All the way down to the river, I'm elbowing for a stampede of people, turning back now and then to make sure she hasn't legged it with my valuables. But, to my surprise, we make it, and I see this barge loading up, and it's so full it's almost sinking. But the captain's happy to take my coin, so I start boarding, and then he puts his hand on my chest and he says, "No, too heavy. The cart or the girl." So I did what anyone would have done.
He chose the cart, didn't he? You chose the girl, right? Or you chose the cart, didn't you? Which one should we tell him? Which one should we say? I want to say you chose the girl, right?
The girl? Weren't you listening? All my valuables or the girl? I mean, I can always buy a new slave girl if I still have my money. So I put my hand on the cart, and I guess she realised what was happening because those pretty black eyes of hers go all wide. And in one swift motion, she topples the whole bloody thing into the Tiber.
Yeah. So you took her with you after all. Or I think I see where this is going. I think I see where this is going.
Naturally, I dived in after it, hoping to salvage my fortune. Only, I guess I must have hit my head or something, because everything went black. When I came to, I'd washed up on the riverbank not far from here, with nothing in the world but a single silver coin.
A single silver coin. We arrived with a single silver coin as well. So everybody that we've talked to so far has washed up on the riverbank. I just got frustrated at work and not in my head said, oh, praise Satan. Oh, jeez. Magic sheep, no! It sounds like you got what you deserved, or commiserations. Let's do commiserations.
Thank you, friend. But it turns out it might have been a stroke of good fortune, because this place is a veritable treasure trove. Look around you. There must be more gold in here than in the treasury of Rome. If I can just figure out how to get it out of here.
Do you know a way out of here?
I'm afraid not. If you're desperate, I did hear that Aurelia down at the tavern claims to know of a way out, but I'm not sure I trust her. Some people here are a little shady for my liking.
Really? Really? I hadn't noticed.
Oh yeah, gotta watch out. Old Dacius has got your back though.
What do you think about the golden rule?
It's terrible for inflation is what it is. There's so much gold just lying around, it's practically worthless. At least down here. Of course, I have an idea for generating real wealth, but what I need is a bow. Just a simple composite bow. I've scoured this city from top to bottom with no luck. But if you happen to find one, bring it to me and we'll talk.
Hasn't the magistrate banned weapons?
Oh, well, technically yes, but that just means you'll need to be a little discreet.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you, friend.
Who are you going to vote for?
Malleolus. I mean, Sentius couldn't even keep his daughter safe. What hope does he have of protecting us?
I'd like you to vote for Sentius.
Not going to happen.
I need some silphium resin.
Certainly. All I ask is a reasonable price of 1,000 denarii.
You're price gouging over life-saving medicine? What's wrong with you?
Oh, it's perfectly legal. Simply a question of supply and demand, I'm afraid. Take it or leave it.
Take it. Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Never mind.
You sure you're feeling all right? If you're hearing things, perhaps you should pay a visit to Lucretia's clinic. We don't want another Navia on our hands.
We need to go see Navia, actually.
She claimed the statue was whispering to her. Nobody else could hear it. Then she shut herself in the palace and we never heard from her again. But I digress. Do you want this silphium or
not? How would I come up with 1,000 denarii? How about I just take it instead? I don't have that kind of money. How about I just take it instead?
Well, if you did that, you'd break the golden rule, and we'd share the same fate as the last lot who lived here. Is that what you want?
Take it and run! Why? I suppose you're right. Is that what you want? If not, hand them over now. You don't know that for sure. I'll take my chances. We have not done any of the bluff or lie or any of those options up to this point. So I'm wondering if there's a way that we can get to it later. So,
we agree on something.
For now, I will say...
Now, do you want to make a purchase?
Love this farmer boy.
Perhaps I can interest you in something within your budget?
I'll be going for now.
Another time.
Also, I love that it's just out here. It's just out here waiting to be taken. The thing is that wherever I stand, these golden statues can see me. And I am fairly certain that it is the statues that I need to be concerned about. Alright, let's have a look at the inventory really quickly here. So here's the denarius. This is my denarius that I got. I have not taken any anywhere. Oh right, I was gonna look through this old scroll again some more. What about the golden statues? So the golden statues are related to the golden rule. That those who basically the sins of the many will punish the sins of the one will punish all. So in theory these are previous inhabitants of this space. The priestess. But like anytime I look away from them, you can kind of hear the sound of the statue moving. So if I go up and I look at the statue, and then I look away, and then I look back at the statue, see like that one over there moved, and this one moved. So they see me. And we've already been through one cycle of this. And if we don't stop the election as it stands, we will go through another cycle. So we just got a hint for the priestess. So let's see. I don't know if I have anything that's going to point to the priestess, though. Let's talk to this guy.
Ah, a new face. Salve, and welcome to a little community. My name's impossible to pronounce for most people, so you can just call me Virgil.
What's your story?
Well, I'm an architect. Or at least I was back in Rome. That's probably too grandiose a term to describe what I do here. Help out with repairs and try to stop old buildings from collapsing on people. That kind of thing. But you probably don't want to hear about the ingenious architecture or mysterious history of this place.
Tell me about the city's history.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Some of these shrines were constructed hundreds of years ago, which means Romans have been arriving here for at least that long. But there's one thing that puzzles me. The oldest shrine in this avenue isn't Roman at all. It's Greek.
Isn't it common for Romans to copy Greek art and architecture? Or what does that mean? Let's do what does that mean?
I'm not sure. It could mean that the Romans, who first started building here, were just copying Greek architecture, which they do all the time. Or it could mean that there were Greeks living and worshipping here before the Romans arrived. Which begs the interesting question, who really built this place? And could it be far older than any of us imagine? If only there was a way we could talk to the people who came here before us. The stories they could tell.
Tell me about the city's architecture.
Gladly. Personally, my favorite thing about this place is the aqueducts. Those series of adjoining arches. They're an ingenious feat of Roman engineering with a very practical purpose. They take fresh water coming from outside the city and distribute it all across the chasm. It's funneled below the palace and into a cistern beneath the great temple. Some of it flows down into another cistern beneath the villas, and the rest is funneled to the shrine of Proserpina, where it fills the lake, and allows us to fish and farm.
If they bring water into the city, could we use them to escape?
Hey, not so loud. Just talking about that could anger the gods for all we know. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you'd have to find a way inside somehow. Just, please, try to be a bit more discreet about it.
Tell me about the temple up on the bluff.
You mean the Great Temple? This one's a bit of a mystery. Given the way it's positioned so prominently, looking down on us, it's clear that whoever built it felt it was the most important temple in the city. Unfortunately, someone else went out of their way to keep its purpose a mystery. You see, usually a temple is dedicated to a particular god, like Proserpina or Diana or Apollo. Usually, that god is obvious. But in this case, it's unknown. There's an obelisk out the front, which probably used to bear the name of this unknown god. But it appears some barbarian defaced it. And of course we can't get inside because it's locked up tighter than the Temple of Saturn in Rome. And that contains the treasury. So we're all left wondering, which god is that temple dedicated to? And could it be the one responsible for the Golden Rule? Unless somebody figures out a way inside, I suppose we'll never know.
Let's talk about something else. I noticed the graffiti. Why does someone think you're a sinner?
Look, I haven't done anything wrong, if that's what you're thinking. Somebody just has a problem with my preference for male company.
I see.
And when you grow up in the north, as I did, in the city of Noviomagus, you expect a bit of hostility. The Batavi are not known for their tolerance. I saw enough friends killed or driven away to know the cost of not keeping your personal affairs to yourself. So I hid who I was for, what was it, nearly 10 years? Watching what I said and where I looked. But that kind of fear eats away at you slowly, until living isn't any better than the thing you were afraid of. Needless to say, since I'm now living underground, halfway across the known world with an assumed name, my openness didn't go down well among the enlightened folk of the Batavi.
I'm sorry to hear that. Go on. Let's see if we can get more information from him.
In any case, the Romans are far more accepting, and among them, I get to be who I am. Or at least, I thought that was the case. It seems I was wrong.
Do you know who's writing the graffiti?
It's not just graffiti. I have quite a collection of handwritten notes too. The strange thing is, I keep my personal affairs to myself. I've never really been interested in any of the men here. Not my type. So I'm not sure what I could have done to upset this person. If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably one of those cultists.
Cultists?
Strange bunch. They insist there's only one god, and that he considers my nature a sin. Can you believe that? If there are any of them here, they won't admit it. Not since they supposedly burnt down half of Rome last year and went into hiding. All I know is, if these threats keep escalating, eventually my secret admirer is going to cross a line and break the Golden Rule.
Let me look into it for you.
What? Really? I didn't expect that. But thanks. It's always a pleasure to meet someone so selfless. I'm glad you arrived when you did. I'd start by figuring out who the cultists are. Or maybe ask around among the merchants here. Someone who lives or works in the forum must have seen something. But if you find them, please don't hurt or humiliate them. I suspect they're just confused.
I'll see what I can do. Who are you going to vote for?
Well, Malleolus is talking about loosening some of the restrictions in this place. And while it's all a bit vague, at least he has a vision.
Anything I can do to change that?
My vote isn't for sale, if that's what you're asking.
What do you think about the Golden Rule?
Some people say it's divine, the work of a god. but I'm not so sure. It just seems so flawed to me. Like it's distinctly human. I mean, once you've been here long enough, you'll notice people doing things that just seem so wrong to you. But this so-called god doesn't seem to care. Which means one of two things. Either you don't know the difference between right and wrong, or this unknown god doesn't. And I'm pretty sure I know the difference. Do you?
I think so, yes.
Good. Then I hope you'll agree that there are only two ways of dealing with unfair rulers. The first is to leave. The second is to remove the ruler from power. And it seems leaving may not be an option.
How do you remove a god from power?
Good question. It's best if I say no more, but I hope you'll give it some thought.
Do you know a way out of here?
You wouldn't believe how often the new ones ask that question. But I tell you the same thing I tell everyone else. There are much worse places to live out your days. You might have a few sleepless nights thinking about the golden rule, but once you get used to the fear, knowing that a single slip-up could cost you everything, it's not too bad. Nothing new to me, anyway.
Fair enough. I'll be going now.
Nice to talk to you.
Why? This looks exactly like the whetstone that we can use in Skyrim, and it's throwing me for a loop here.
Salve.
Alrighty. I kind of want to see if we can get into the palace. I would like a map. A map would be very helpful.
Help! You have to do something! A man arrived in the baths. A real nasty sort, with his face all covered up. And he's got a weapon. You have to do something, or he's gonna break the golden rule.
Confront the armed man in the city. Wait, who are you?
Fabia, but now's not the time. Are you going to help or not?
How? I don't have a weapon.
None of us do. The magistrate made us throw them all into the chasm. So now this man's bow is the only one in the city. You'll just have to improvise.
Yes. I'll get right on it.
Thank you. He's still in there, somewhere. I have to hide. Find me in this empty shrine when it's over.
No. Don't go in there.
Why?
I have a bad feeling about it.
All right, fine. Come and find me in my bakery instead. Please be careful.
Okay. Alright, gonna go to the Roman baths here, I guess. Trickster.
Stop right there. I'm looking for Tiberius Quinctius Crispus, otherwise known as Quinctius. Do you know where he is?
Figure out how to neutralize the armed man. I don't know a Quinctius. Yes, I saw him worshipping in a small round shrine just outside the city. Or inside the city. Second building on your left. The woman needed to not go into that building. So maybe sending him into that building would be helpful. But we also haven't lied yet.
I'm not sure I believe that, so allow me to explain something to you. I am here with orders from Emperor Nero himself to find and execute the cultist Quinctius for terrible crimes against the Empire. So, if you tell me the truth, I will allow you to live. But if you lie to me or otherwise obstruct the Emperor's business in any way, I will put this arrow through your chest. Is that understood?
Got it.
Thank you. Now tell me, who are you people, and what is this place?
We're just a small community of strangers who wound up here by accident. Why don't you put that bow down and you can come in and see for yourself?
Oh, how very welcoming of you. You want me to let my guard down, is that it? You're not going to get your claws into me. I was told Quintius was a cultist, but I never thought he'd be foolish enough to lead me right to the heart of his mystery cult.
What is a mystery cult? We're not cultists. What is a mystery cult?
Don't play coy with me. I don't care if you're worshipping Bacchus, Magna Mater, or Christ. You lot are all the same to me. Always sneaking off to your secret sanctuaries, indoctrinating each other with your little mantras. The Emperor may have tolerated your activities up until now, but after what Quintius did, those days are numbered.
Galerius made a comment about Bacchus.
You say that, but if you're not a cult, then why go to such great lengths to keep this place a secret?
We're not keeping it a secret. We're all trapped in here.
So you admit you're not allowed to leave?
It's not that we're not allowed to leave. We physically can't leave. There's no way out.
Threatening me is not going to help you. But in any case, that sounds an awful lot like a cult to me. And I saw the inscription saying, "The many shall suffer for the sins of the one." I take it this is some kind of mantra you all believe?
It's not a mantra. It's a warning.
A distinction without a difference. You've clearly been indoctrinated into this nonsense. Now tell me, where did you lot get enough gold to make all these statues?
They were once people who were turned into gold as punishment.
You lot are practicing human sacrifice too. You people disgust me.
We didn't turn them into gold. A god did it. And we don't know which one.
Of course you'd say that, but that's what your kind do, isn't it? Our god told us to do it. It's all clear to me now. The secret sanctuary, the indoctrination, the mantra, the human sacrifice. You're cultists. There's no doubt in my mind. What baffles me is how a person can believe in something with such zeal. They just can't see what they've become. However, you still have a chance to redeem yourself by telling me where Quintius is. Do not waste it.
All right. What can you tell me about Quintius?
Well. Here's what I know. He's a 40 to 50-year-old man with distinctive eyes, one green and one blue. He's also known to have delusions of grandeur. The Emperor says he and his cult, your cult, are responsible for starting the fire which burnt half of Rome to the ground and killed thousands in the process.
How do you know he set fire to Rome? That hardly means he did it. Or perhaps the Emperor was looking for a scapegoat. Join us or perish. So he's the only one with a weapon in the entire city.
Who are you to challenge what the Emperor says? Were you there? Do you have spies and scouts all over Rome like he does? No, you do not. This is your last chance. Are you going to tell me where he is or not?
I have no idea who or where he is. Or I wouldn't help you even if I did know who he is.
Then you're of no use to me. Do you have any last words?
You said I wouldn't kill you. You wouldn't kill me if I told you the truth. Christ, you're an idiot. No. If you fire that arrow, everyone here is going to die. You have no idea what you're in for. Or do you? You said you wouldn't kill me if I told you the truth. There's no way to, like, subdue him with any of this. Do you?
As a matter of fact, I do. Once I'm done with you and Quintius, I intend to kill every last one of you wretched degenerates. And I can think of nothing I'd enjoy more.
The many shall suffer for the sins of the one.
Well, we are back to the glowing-eyed statues and running to the portal again. Ah! Ooh! The arrows! The statue's arrows turn people into the gold statues. Ah, no! No! Run! Heckin', run! Find me? Find who? I'm worried about Galerius being a problem. That's very troublesome. All right, here we are. We are on another run. Let's see how we do. But why? Oh, for a second there, I thought somebody was on fire. No.